Hello, Internet friends. My name is Rich. There we go. Thank you for joining me today on the Toy Aisle Alliance YouTube channel. Want to do a quick Darth haul video on a very surprising Star Wars Black Series exclusive. This is Captain Phasma brackets Quicksilver Baton. So this is essentially a battle-damaged Captain Phasma from The Last Jedi. Here is the box, by the way. There's the cool artwork. There's the sticker that says, they say Toys R Us exclusive. Side, there's no number or anything because it is an exclusive. Yeah, you don't really need to see the box. It's just like all the other Black Series boxes. There's what's different. What's interesting is, this just showed up in Canada maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't even think that long ago. This unannounced Black Series exclusive. And what's interesting is, like, there was no announcement about this prior, so if we were going to be surprised with getting an exclusive, you would have thought it was the Toys R Us Zuckus exclusive, because that was already announced, so you would assume that would be closer in the distribution pipeline than an unannounced exclusive, and yet here we are with this figure popping up here in Canada, because Canada still has Toys R Us. It was bought by a Canadian company. It's Canadian owned. You know, hopefully it will have a long, prosperous life here in Canada. But people not in Canada, or places that you know don't have a Toys R Us, which is really most of the world now, are a little worried about this this gal. I would definitely say that Hasbro has some plan to still release this. I suspect it might be like an online exclusive, so places like Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth will have her, and places that still have a Toys R Us. You know, that's how it will be distributed in that part of the world. But don't pay crazy scalper prices to some crazy Canadian scalper. I suspect this will still get a fairly wide release. But I was still pleasantly surprised to see this pop up in Canada. I don't know where I first heard about it. I think it was Yak Face. But if you are coming to visit Canada or fleeing to Canada, check your Toys R Us's. I found her this evening. There were about 8 on the shelf, so I suspect it's 8 per case. And as you can see, it's pretty much the same as the first Captain Phasma. The two big differences are, I swear that the new one looks a little more slender. Am I crazy? Well, I am crazy, but the big difference is the helmet. Obviously, this has the battle-damaged helmet, and as you can see, they have the eye sculpted, and they even use the new face printing technology. So that looks awesome. Some really good. The paintwork on the helmet is great. Not so much on the chest, but the helmet looks amazing. The other big difference is the first Captain Phasma had a plastic cape. Had a plastic cape. This one has the cloth cape. I typically would prefer a good plastic cape over a bad or flimsy cloth cape. However, because of the cloth cape, she has a little better articulation. And also, I think part of the reason I keep thinking this one looks a little more slender, because that was a complaint about this Captain Phasma, it was a little too bulky. I think that cloth cape makes the neck look a little longer, where this is the thicker material, obviously, and it just makes it look a little more stout. Who knows? Maybe it is, and it can't be a different body. There's no way it's a different body. It might be a different body. I don't know. Regardless, I like this one a lot better. As far as accessories, she also does a little bit better. She comes with her Quicksilver baton, an unerect Quicksilver baton, and her blaster. One thing to note, you see this little notch on the side so that I can fit it in there. It doesn't fit in very well. It's a very, very tight fit, and just because of the sculpt of her, you know, this side piece, it tends to pop off a lot. So I need to work on that a little bit better. But otherwise, I am super, super happy to have found this action figure. A little closer look again. It's essentially the same Phasma, but with a really cool battle-damaged head. And again, with the original Phasma. And you see how that cape just makes it look like a more slender figure. And then also, here she is with another figure that you might pose her with, is Finn in First Order Disguise. So, I am super happy. This is actually a figure I hoped they would make. Was the battle damaged Phasma. Oh, the back of the box, by the way, just says, Captain Phasma and a squad of elite First Order troopers capture Resistance heroes Finn and Rose who have infiltrated Snoke's flagship, the Supremacy. Before Phasma can eliminate them, a series of unforeseen events leads to a dramatic battle between Phasma and Finn. So there you go. The Quicksilver Baton Captain Phasma. I really like Captain Phasma. Star Wars has a rich history of sort of background characters that look cool and don't do a lot, and fans kind of think up their own stories for them or read expanded universe novels. Unfortunately, Star Wars now has a short history of annoying fans that want to complain about everything. But how can you dislike a character inspired by the Phantasm movies? So, like I said, I definitely recommend picking her up. Now, the cost, she was $37.99, so basically $38, which is almost $10 more than regular Black Series here in Canada. So that price is obviously ridiculous. EB Games gets a lot of the Black Series exclusives, and they do not overcharge the way Toys R Us does. I mentioned that to an employee, how much more expensive this was, about that price. And they said, well, it's exclusive, you have to come here to get it. And then I showed them all the other exclusives that have been sitting there for like 2 years. But yeah, so it is overpriced. Luckily, I had some coupons. When I go in, a lot of times Toys R Us employees will just give me random coupons because I'm in there so much, which is kind of a good thing, but also kind of sad. But so I was able to get it to close to regular retail. So that is the only downside, is the price. Otherwise, I really love this figure. I absolutely love the sculpting on that eye that you can see, and you can even see a little bit of flesh color. It's not a removable helmet at all, and I suspect that's just some it's probably just like a flesh-colored knob. I wish I hadn't said that. So yeah, I don't think that there's any other part of the head sculpted underneath it, but what you can see looks really, really cool. I love that look in Last Jedi when her helmet was battle damaged. So there you go, guys. The Quicksilver Baton, or battle damaged Captain Phasma, a Canadian Toys R Us exclusive, and an exclusive everywhere else to be determined. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will see ya.